Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Tech for Senior. I'm Ron Brown. This is August the 25th. Huey, can you guess how many episode this is? What episode is this?
I'm guessing it's 281.
You got it right. Good, because remember last week was 280.
Yeah,
So,
I count on my fingers.
oh, you did,
And
yeah.
I have AI fingers, so I had 281 of them.
Anyway, yes, it's to episode 281, season six, of course, as we have discussed many times before. Anyway, welcome everyone. It is, of course, we have a long weekend coming up next weekend, and we will be doing the show. We do the show pretty much. We sometimes miss for Christmas. Huey didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it on Christmas Day one year, and Huey got mad at me. So,
Ho, ho, ho.
right. Anyway, so we pretty much keep going. Anyway, we have a fun one for you today. It's a little bit different. I think you'll find the show interesting, and we're going to talk about technology in your hobbies. At least my show, my talk today will be a little bit different. And we have a great bunch in our premiere video that we get that'll be on at 1/2 past the hour. Bill James is going to talk about what is matter. If you don't know, that's a good one to listen. I'm going to talk about, again, it's getting shorter and shorter. We already had a comment already today about Windows 10 and October 15th. It's going away, or will be not going away, but you'll be requiring to make some decisions. And so I'm going to talk about Chromebooks, purchase considerations for a Chromebook. And Huey's going to talk about technology and retirement. And we're actually going to play that video as a start and lead in video today on the show because it's a great one and it sort of flows into what we're going to talk about today. So
I'm
that is
I'm
all
confused. I'm confused. I thought Hewie is going to talk about USB ports or on your website.
USB ports. I don't think so. That was
No,
last
that
week.
was last week.
That
Yeah.
was last week. But you were here last week. I know that.
I know, but this is different. It says why are some ports red? You're talking about
No,
color.
that was
That's
just
an,
an article in the newsletter.
that was an article.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's on the Saturday agenda.
I'll have to. Anyway, we'll be. That was in the newsletter. Huey, how are you doing today?
I am doing fantastic. Getting
Excellent.
back to normal.
That's good. Had a good week. Had a good weekend.
Yep, good weekend and no doctor's appointments this week. I feel pretty good.
Oh, how did the AI? How did your AI go on Friday?
It was great. I've already posted the recording of it for everybody who has signed up. I sent out a link to the recording and a couple of documents that if you're a member of that group, and the only thing you have to do for a member is just to sign up for it. I had a list of about 65 videos on AI from the last month that are good. And then I also had the summary from the last Let's Talk AI. So there was a lot of good information that I sent out since the Let's Talk AI as well.
Huey sent me a great video to watch, and it was on a YouTube channel about AI. What was the fellow's name, Huey? I can't remember.
Matt Wolf.
Matt Wolf. So on this Saturday newsletter, just let everybody give everyone a heads up because you should, is I try to highlight a YouTube channel every week in our Saturday newsletter. And I'm going to highlight that channel next week. And on our Saturday newsletter, I'll put all the links in and show you some of the stuff that's on his channel. But it was it was really well done and very, very enjoyable and easy to listen to. It was really yeah.
He's probably one of probably my favorite AI YouTuber.
Yeah. Well, and that's why I put in our Saturday newsletter, I try to put in there a different, it's not all about technology. Sometimes it's gardening, sometimes it's hobbies, sometimes it's sailing. It's just to give everybody an idea of the scope of what you can watch on YouTube. So on our Saturday newsletter, each I always put one channel that I'm interested in and you might find interesting as well each Saturday. So be sure and watch for that. Mike Leaman, toe tapping music today.
I think you'll find it a little bit that way. It's probably a very familiar tune and some interesting stuff this week. A lot of things happened on this day in music history. So we're going to touch on some of those. And I've actually got another item to add that I didn't realize until this morning when I got up and had Alexa start my day, and she told me about something I didn't realize.
There you go. Now, listen, be honest. Any scratches on the new truck yet?
None.
None. When you get your first scratch, it's always very disappointing, but it means the car.
Well, it's traumatic.
Yeah. All right, we better get on with the show because people are probably interested in some of the things we're going to talk about today. So let's get started. I'm going to play the first video by a very famous guy.
Tech and Retirement, a New Era of Aging. I'm Hewie Poplock. Hey everyone, I'm here to talk about something that's close to my heart, how modern technology is revolutionizing retirement living. It's a topic that's gaining traction as more and more retirees like you, or perhaps your loved ones, are looking to age comfortably at home rather than in nursing homes. With the internet and smartphones becoming a staple in our daily lives, it's no surprise that today's retirees are embracing these tools to make aging in place not just possible, but also enjoyable. I mean, who knew that one day video calls on Zoom or health monitoring could be so vital? During the pandemic, the need for connectivity became more apparent than ever. It was during this time that many older adults found a new appreciation for tech, using it to stay safe and connected with family and friends. It's incredible how technology has opened up new ways for retirees to manage their health, maintain social contacts, and even keep up with their hobbies and interests from the comfort of their homes. Now let's talk gadgets and innovations, from smart homes that let you control lights, temperature, and security remotely, to virtual reality experiences that can take you to Paris without leaving your living room. The possibilities are endless. And let's not forget about robotic pets. These aren't your average furry friends, but they offer companionship and joy to those who may need it. But it's not just about comfort. Safety is a huge aspect of technology in retirement. Imagine wearable devices that can alert someone if you fall, or systems that remind you when it's time to take your medication. It's about creating an environment where you can stay independent and active with every need just a click away. The future looks bright too. We're talking about advancements like robotic assistants for daily tasks, and even more immersive virtual reality applications that could greatly benefit those with dementia. The goal here is clear: to help retirees like yourself stay in your homes, live safely, and enjoy life without limitations. So whether you're tech savvy or just getting started, there's no denying the impact technology has on retirement living. It's truly transforming how we think about aging, making it a phase of life to look forward to with excitement rather than uncertainty. Stay tuned, stay techy, and most importantly, stay happy in your golden years. Thanks for listening.
Well put, Hugh. I thought that was very well done. Thank you so much for doing that. All right, let's get on with the next video we have for you. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Tech for Senior. I'm so glad you're here today because we've got a really fun topic lined up. I'm Ron Brown with Tech for Senior. We're going to explore how technology can make your favorite hobbies easier, more exciting, and even more personalized. Whether you're in love with gardening, cooking, reading, painting, or simply staying connected with friends, there's tech out there designed to enrich those activities. So grab a cup of coffee, sit back, and let's dive in. Gardening with tech. Let's get started with something a lot of us enjoy, and that's gardening. Now, sometimes it's hard to know if our plants are thirsty. if they're getting enough sunlight, or if we're overwatering them. Well, technology has an answer. There are smart plant sensors you can stick right in the soil. These little devices measure the moisture, the sunlight, and even temperature. Then they send an alert to your smartphone, and you'll know exactly what your plants need care. You can also use gardening apps to send reminders like, hey, it's time to fertilize your tomatoes. And don't forget, you can ask Smart Assistant like Miss A or Miss G to remind you about watering days. Plus, YouTube has endless gardening tutorials from pruning roses to growing herbs in your kitchen. So even if you don't have a green thumb, technology can give you. So this year I was so excited. I planted rhubarb last year and I was going to have my first crop this year. So my rhubarb started to grow and it was great. You'll see here pictures of it in its early spring. And by June, it was going great. And then July came and it started to die. And I kept watering it and I was wondering if it got root rot. I could not understand why it was dying. So I enlisted the help of ChatGPT. I took a picture of it, and here is the picture of my few new shoots that were starting to grow, and you can see it's full of holes. So I uploaded this to ChatGPT and asked it, based on the picture of my rhubarb, what is going on? Help! And so they came up. Of course, they knew where I was. They knew my location and what would be the local endemic problems with rhubarb. And they came up with, of course, flea beetles or slugs. And I found out that, of course, it was flea beetles. And they recommended a treatment, which, of course, if you come down here, you'll see that it was the tree. It's, of course, insecticidal soap. And I had some that I'd used prior years on different plants, and I'd forgot it usually occurred in early July. So I've treated it, it's coming back, and things are looking better, and maybe I'll get another crop of my rhubarb before the end of the year. And that's how AI helped me with my gardening problem. It's great. Now, I know many of you love cooking, but sometimes keeping track of recipes, measurements, or timers can be a little bit tricky. Enter the digital kitchen helper. There are smart kitchen scales that measure ingredients down to the gram, so your recipes come out just right. Recipe apps like Paprika and All Recipes let you resize recipes. Want to make enough chili for 2 instead of 6? The app does the math for you. And if you don't want to touch your phone with sticky fingers, a smart display like the Google Nest Hub can show you a recipe step by step, hands-free. Oh, and there's one big piece of mind. The new stoves and appliances even have auto shut-off features, so you don't have to worry about accidentally leaving the burner on. Cooking with technology doesn't replace your skill, it just makes the kitchen safer and easier. So I've created a course for AI. This is for seniors. It starts very basic and tells you which AI you should use, how to use it, and it's all free. And I'm going to put the link in the description below, and feel free to enroll and take the course. In the course, I showed you how to search for baking tips, and it starts with what happens if you do a Google search and how maybe Gemini, Copilot, ChatGPT could help you with your baking needs. So now I'm going to play a clip from episode 6 when we talk about using AI for search in helping you baking. So this is a good food tip. And if you want more, take the course. It's free of charge. All right, let's see what I have to say. All right, back in Google search, and let's say how to bake a chocolate cake. Let's do a Google search on that and see what we come up with. So Google search is going to give us 3 recipes. It's going to give us these 3 recipes here. It comes down to all recipes. It's going to give me some videos on how to bake a chocolate cake. how to bake chocolate cake step by step, and it's going to give me some information here. So this is the information we'd get on a Google search. Let's see how ChatGPT does. Okay, let's have a look. It gives us the ingredients as we come down, and it'll show us for the cake all the things that we need. It's going to give us chocolate frosting. Ooh, I'm getting hungry just thinking about this. Chocolate frosting. It's going to tell us instructions how to prepare the cake batter, bake the cake, making the frosting, assemble the cake, and tips for success. And of course, you can copy these, print them, edit them, whatever you want. But looks sort of cool to me. Would you like any modifications, like a gluten-free or dairy-free version? Okay, let's see what Gemini has to say. So this is a bit interesting. Baking as a delicious chocolate cake can be a rewarding experience. Key elements for a great chocolate cake: general steps, combine dry ingredients, so on and so forth. And then it's going to give us some recommendation on certain websites where we can go and find a recipe. And I hope this information is helpful, but it actually didn't give me a recipe. Certainly wasn't as much information as ChatGPT. I wonder what Copilot will do. Let's have a look. Okay, Copilot, how to bake a chocolate cake. That was pretty quick. It did give us a recipe. It gave us the ingredients. It gave instructions on how to bake it. Optional frosting. Pro tip, try to add a pinch of espresso powder to the batter. So that was good. Let's wrap it up and see which one we like the best. So which one did I prefer? So it really depends on what you're looking for. If you did a Google search, it gave us some YouTube videos to watch to make a cake, and I'm sure they're very good. I think out of the three AI, I think that ChatGPT gave me the most information in a way that I would use it. I'd probably bake that recipe. It gave me some alternatives. I thought it was a really good summary of how to bake a chocolate cake. So my vote would go to the ChatGPT. Reading and lifelong learning. Now let's talk about reading and learning. Now, if you're like me, your eyes are not as sharp as they used to be. Reading fine print can be a challenge, but technology has solved that. E-readers like the Kindle let you change the font size and the brightness, so no more squinting. Better yet, you can borrow ebooks and audiobooks for free using library apps like Libby and Hoopla. That's right, straight from your local library without leaving home. And if you'd rather listen than read, your tablet or phone can read the books aloud with text-to-speech. Want to keep learning? There are online classes for just about anything: history, cooking, photography, and new languages. Sites like Coursera, Udemy, or your local senior center offer virtual workshops you can join from your living room. So whether it's novels, news, or new skill, you've got the world at your fingertips. So in episode 277, and I'll put the link down below, I interviewed my daughter, Jennifer Brown, who's an educator, a teacher, and lives in Addis, Ethiopia. She recently researched e-readers and actually purchased a Kobo e-reader. I'm going to play a short clip of the interview I did a few weeks ago with her. She's going to talk a little bit about why she chose the Kobo reader. If you want to listen to the entire video, I'll put the link, as I said, below. So here's a short clip with my daughter talking about her Kobo reader.
So as my dad said, I am a Apple person. All my products are Apple. And when the concept of e-reading came out, so that's using a device to read, initially, like I guess maybe 15 years ago, I was against it. I was one of those people that said, I like a book in my hands. I want to flip the page, and I rejected e-readers for a really long time. I didn't want anything to do with them. But the reality of my lifestyle living overseas and moving means that at the end of the day, I have to put all these books into boxes. I also travel a lot, and so I have to, if I'm reading a book, then I have to put it in my carry-on bag, which I now share with my son, and that takes up space. So then over the years, I've tried different things. I've tried my iPad. I've used books on the iPad, and I've purchased books on there. But with the iPad, it was heavy, and so it was hard to like, this sounds very luxurious, but reading at a beach chair is very important. So, but holding at the iPad was too heavy. The iPad also, the screen doesn't do very well in light. So I trucked along with the iPad and read a few books and thought, well, it's okay, but it's not great. Then when we moved to Ethiopia, I joined some book clubs because I've gotten off of reading and I thought I'm going to get back into reading. So again, trying to avoid an accumulation of books, I actually read a 700-page book on my phone, which was kind of handy because it's small and easy. So when I was in the lineup at the airport, I could pull out my phone and read it. But then my son likes to play games on my phone and when we're at the airport, and so I wouldn't have my phone all the time with me, so it wasn't super ideal. I also just don't like, sometimes I was at school eating my lunch and I don't like the look of like looking at my phone even though I'm reading a book, but so the phone wasn't good. So then, but I did really like the size of that. So then I fast forward to this year and I really got back into reading, but again, Addis, hard to find books, but then I also don't want to buy a $30 digital book. I feel weird buying something for $30 and I don't even get to touch it. It just sits in my e-library in space. So I decided to commit to a better e-reader, and then I started my research into the Kindle versus Kobo. And really what it came down to is Kobo. Here's my nice little new Kobo. My Kobo is an open access device.
Staying social and playing games. Now, hobbies are fun alone, but they're even better when they're shared. Technology helps us contact like never before. There are Facebook groups and online clubs for just about any hobby. Want to talk gardening, knitting, or even old classic cars? There's a group for you. Video calls on Zoom make book clubs, art classes, or even language lessons possible without leaving your home. And for a little fun, brain games like Wordle or Sudoku apps or online bridge keep the mind sharp and connected with friends who like to play. You can even travel virtually. There are apps and websites that let you tour the Louvre in Paris, stroll through Yellowstone, or see the pyramids in Egypt, all from your own living room. So stay social. Learning and playing games has never been easier or more fun. So a few years ago, I did a 3-part series about using virtual reality with seniors. Yes, this is how seniors can actually use virtual reality to entertain themselves, to stay more in fit with exercises, and enjoy travel. Travel in virtual reality brings you back to areas that you never thought you'd be able to revisit. So I'm going to play you part of the video of the 3rd episode. I'll put the link down below to the videos. Have a look at this and let it stimulate your interest. This is something that is really exciting and the technology is changing rapidly. Have a look at this and consider it. Now follow me as we go for a ride on my bike through the town of Comox, British Columbia. Let's start at my house and we're going to go for a little tour. Now you're going to have a lot of fun with virtual reality. Oh wow, there's the wow factor. For only $299, you are going to have so much fun. As seniors, we often have bad news. Either
with personal health with ourselves or with other people. So we need to laugh, we need to get out, we need to have some fun. And virtual reality certainly will give you the fun that you're going to have. Now, whether you want to take dance lessons, whether you want to go for a walk in Paris, or whether you want to visit a museum or cycle through Holland, it's all possible in virtual reality. Now, you're going to be able to communicate with friends. One of the great things about virtual reality is the ability to communicate from one person to the other in different locations. In virtual reality, where you actually think you're talking to someone and they're right there in the same room. It is so cool. You can enjoy lots of games. You can play table tennis. Maybe you want to play table tennis with another group. You have a group every Thursday that you play table tennis. Again, all happens in virtual reality. So you're going to enjoy the games. You're going to socialize. And the other thing you're going to do is we're going to get you moving. As seniors, we have to keep moving. Remember the old adage, if you don't use it, you lose it. So we're going to shake it up and we're going to show you how to do some moves today. Now we're going to show you, this is a bike. This is actually my daughter's bike. I borrowed it from her. And this is sitting in our exercise room, and you'll see it sits in front of a television. My goal was to have this mounted and to use it with my virtual reality headset on and to do some cycling. You'll see that it's an outdoor bike, but of course it's mounted on a stand. I should tell you that when you put a bike on a stand, it actually gets quite tall. So I need a little footstool there to help me get on and off. And the goal was that I was going to sit on this bike, put my virtual headset on, and cycle around the world and have some really cool fun with it. Now, this is the stand. The only equipment that I really needed was a stand to mount the back tire on. And this cost around $100, and it just clips onto the rear axle and is really not a problem to install at all. Very simple. Now, one thing that I want you to purchase if you are planning to do this is this little device made by ℙ𝕝𝕝, M-A-G-E-N-E. And this is a little device, then you'll see it clips on the pedal there. And this is a Bluetooth connection that connects to the headset, the Oculus headset. And this allows the device to accurately decide how fast you're going. It converts your pedal rotations to speed. So the faster that you pedal, the faster you're going to go virtually, right? But without this, you can't do that. The pedaling wouldn't really count. So this is a way in which your pedaling links into virtual reality. These are very common. This is $20 for one of these devices, and it just clips on the pedal. Now, I didn't find, after a while using the bike, I found a little uncomfortable. As you get older, sitting on a bicycle seat isn't great. And the other thing that happens is that, particularly for my wife who has some arthritis, she couldn't get on the bike. So the other thing that you can do is get a recumbent bike. This is the one I bought. This is about $300, and it's a recumbent bike, and it works great. It's comfortable. You can sit there, and you can do all the cycling with a recumbent bike.
I just finished my coffee. I'm sitting out here under the trees listening to the birds. Amazing the number of birds that are in your yard. It's really pretty crazy. I don't know if you ever sat and just listened. I have no idea how many birds are in our area, but there is an app from Cornell University, free. It's called Merlin. And as you see on the screen, you'll see these are all the different birds that I'm listening to. I didn't know there are that many. And you can even tell when they're actually talking to each other. You can see it highlights who's speaking. I guess everybody gets their turn, right? And so they're talking away, and I'm listening. Unfortunately, it doesn't tell us what they're actually saying, but it is a great app to figure out what birds they are. You can either do it by identifying the audio to identify a bird, or you can take a picture of the bird, and then it will tell you what the bird is, and it's based on your location. It works all over the world in different areas. So when you're traveling and you're listening to interesting birds, just run Merlin and you can find out what those birds are. It's got an unlimited database.
all free from Cornell University. Isn't that so cool? A very, very interesting app. Well, anyway, I guess it's time to head back in and finish off the video. Just get up here and we'll come back. This is sort of the view I'm looking at on the front of our yard. I live in Comox, British Columbia, as you probably identified. So off we come back into the office and we'll finish up this video. Hope you've enjoyed it. All right, let's wrap this up. So there you have it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 technologies that can personalize your hobbies and make them more enjoyable. From gardening with smart sensors to cooking with recipe apps, or from reading an e-reader to painting on a tablet, and social clubs online to playing games with friends, and there's truly something for everyone. The best part is you don't have to learn it all at once. Start small, pick one app or one gadget and give it a try. Before you know it, you'll see just how much these tools can enrich your hobbies and your daily life. Well, it's Ron Brown with Tech for Senior. Take some time in life, enjoy your hobbies, but always remember you can get better value with technology. Try some of the things in the video today, and remember, like and subscribe, and we'll notify you when we have our next video out. All right, there you go, Hewie. Take it away.
Boy, I like that Merlin. I'm going to have to try that.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool app, isn't it? Eh? Yeah.
And let me get ready here. Stop. Don't do these 10 things on your Android phone. I'm Hewie Poplock. Our smartphones have become our wallets, cameras, address books, and even our health trackers. They hold so much personal information, but with that convenience comes responsibility. Many of us make small mistakes without realizing it, and those little things can make our phones less secure. We'll go through 10 of the most common mistakes people make on Android phones, and I'll show you some simple ways to avoid them. Don't worry, this won't be complicated. I'll demonstrate most of them on my Galaxy S22 Ultra from Samsung, so you can see how I do it on my phone. Mistake number 1. Using public Wi-Fi unsafely. The mistake? Connecting to open public Wi-Fi networks in airports, cafes, or hotels. Hackers can steal data using fake networks or packet sniffing. Wi-Fi is everywhere. Airports, cafes, hotels. Public Wi-Fi often lacks encryption. Hackers use tricks like the evil twin, fake hotspot that looks real, packet sniffing, reading unencrypted data, or connecting without protection put your phone and data at risk. What's the remedy? Use your phone's mobile data instead, or turn on a VPN app for a secure connection. Turn off Auto Connect to open networks in Wi-Fi settings. Many people connect to free Wi-Fi in airports, cafes, or hotels. The danger is that hackers can create fake networks or snoop on unencrypted traffic. The remedy, as I said, use a mobile data or a VPN and disable Auto Connect to open networks. There are several things you can do with your phone to protect yourself in a public setting. You're going to go to Settings, and then you're going to go to Connections. This shows you your Wi-Fi, and if you click on this, it will show you all of the Wi-Fi connections that are available. There we go. So if, let's say you're in a McDonald's, so the McDonald's may be here, it may have 2 or 3 McDonald's, one for guests, and so on. But let's say you're very leery about using the McDonald's one for safety reasons. Well, then you're going to want to not use the Wi-Fi. And if I shut that off, we'll lose the connection, so you won't be able to see it here. But what you're going to do is come down to data usage and make sure your mobile data is turned on. Then you can go back, you turn your Wi-Fi off, and it'll force it to use the cell tower and not the McDonald's or the local connection to the internet. Be sure that if you're limited on your mobile data, that you're watching and being careful on how much data you're using. And it does, on my phone, gives me some kind of indication how much I've used during a certain amount of time. Usually, I believe it's a month, and it is. And so what you want to make sure is that you don't use up all your data at one time, that you try not to do things. You're not going to want to watch a movie in a McDonald's, a whole movie, and use up all of your data. But again, if you go back to your Wi-Fi, it's here, and you can turn it off, turn it on, and connect to the one you want. Or if you're in an office environment, your doctor's office, and you want to make sure you're connecting to the correct one, and then they'll give you a password, and you'll type the password in. Mistake number 2, tapping allow on every permission request without checking. This can let apps access your contacts, location, microphone, or camera unnecessarily. You can give too many permissions. Granting excessive permissions to apps on Android devices weakens security by allowing access to sensitive data and features they don't truly need. This broad access can expose devices to threats like data breaches, surveillance, tracking, and data collection. The remedy is go to Settings, Apps, and Permissions and review what each app can access. Only allow what's truly needed. Giving applications permissions. You want to be careful which permissions you give, and you might want to double check them. I checked mine, and I couldn't find a lot that I had given permissions to, but let's go ahead and look at Settings. From Settings, we go to Apps, and then all of our apps are listed here. But let's go to Ring, because Ring I've given a lot of permissions to. So when you go there, you'll see notifications are blocked. So if I get any notifications, they're not posted. So if you're getting notifications from an app and you don't want them, this is how you would turn that off. But when you go to permissions, you'll see what's allowed and what's not allowed. And if you no longer want the camera to work on a particular app, or you don't want you don't need the microphone for that particular app, and you turned it on, you might want to tell it not to do it. And then the things that are not allowed, if you need to turn any of them on, you can. So if I wanted notifications every time somebody walked in front of my camera or clicked my doorbell, I would get a notification. I don't want that. That would happen too often. So this is how you would turn them on, turn them off, the app permissions. Mistake number 3, not closing background apps. Leaving apps open in the background, some can still access the camera, microphone, or run ads and malicious code. Background apps may still use these. Android shows alerts, but manual closing is safer. Or free apps with ad tools can download harmful code and or launch root exploit attacks. The risks include spying and surveillance and theft of call history, contacts, and app lists. The remedy? Periodically check your running apps, swipe up from the bottom, and close them. This saves battery and improves security. Leaving an app running could also cause some issues with access to your camera or microphone and so on. So what you want to do is check your apps that are running in the background. Now, on my phone, it's touching the three lines down here. It's showing me all of the apps that I have running in the background. What you want to do is occasionally go in and just swipe up and turn them off or stop accessing them. It's as simple as that. Mistake number 4, skipping or delaying updates because they take too long. This leaves known security holes open for hackers. Updates is security protection, not just new features. Companies patch flaws hackers use to attack. Skipping updates leaves your device exposed. The risks included better performance and stability, bug fixes, and fewer crashes. Benefits of updating: better performance and stability. Updates are worth the wait. So the remedy is keep your phone and apps updated and go to the settings, and I'll show you how I can do it on my phone. One thing you don't want to do is ignore software updates. And how do you know what software updates you need to do? So first, let's go to the Play Store and click on your name or picture or whatever's up on the top here. Manage apps and device. Let's take a look at that and see updates. It's going to check to see if I have any updates. And I have 5 updates that are pending. And if I tell it update all, it will update them. The other thing you want to check is your software update. I'm going to click that, and it's going to download and install. Last checked on July 27th, which was a couple of weeks ago, and it was installed then. Now, if I click here, it's going to go out, look, see if there's an install. Let's see if there's an update. And I'm up to date. Mistake number 5, side-loading apps. Mistake number 5, installing apps from unknown websites or files sent by others. These can contain malware or Trojans. So side-loading apps, installs from outside official app stores. In other words, from websites or other places, or from an email. Bypasses the Apple or Google security checks. The main risk: malware infection. Trojans can steal login codes, read private messages, or take full device control. There's no guarantee of security updates. Feels like the risky days of limeware. The remedy is stick to Google Play Store apps. If you must sideload, only download from trusted developers. Sideloading an app would be, instead of doing it from your Play Store, you go to a website that says install for your Android phone. If you do that, that's called sideloading. It's putting it in directly. It's not going through the Play Store. And unless you really know the site that you're going to is on the up and up and you're comfortable doing it, you can install it. But if you're not sure, if it's something you've never been to before, I would not install it. I would check the Play Store. If it's not in the Play Store, it hasn't been checked by Google to find out if there are problems with it. 6, using weak PINs or passwords. The mistake: locking your phone with 1, 2, 3, 4 or birthdays or swipe patterns that are easy to guess. Common choices: 1, 2, 3, 4, birthdays, swipe patterns are easy, so much easier to guess. Safer options: use long, unpredictable passcodes, add biometrics, your fingerprint, your face recognition for extra protection, and use longer passcodes and even an alphanumeric password. Enable fingerprint or face unlock as an extra layer. Using weak PINs or passwords. This we can go on forever, so I'm just going to very briefly cover it here. One is, in most cases, on your phone, you'll have either 4 or 6 numbers that you can set up for your PIN. Make sure you do that. don't leave it without some kind of a way of stopping somebody from getting into your phone. And then once you do that, make sure that you have passwords on important apps or any app that requires a password. Make sure that you make it a strong password and use two-factor authentication if possible. So make sure you have a password so someone can't just pick up your phone and they're on and can get into anything on your phone. Mistake number 7, using trusted places on body detection. Keeping the phone unlocked at home, in your pocket, or when paired to a Bluetooth device. If it's stolen, anyone can access your data. Using trusted places, extend unlock, convenience but weak security. On body detection, keeps phone unlocked while you're carrying it, even if it's stolen. Trusted devices, risky if the phone is lost or stolen in those areas. Trusted devices, use Bluetooth device if the phone is stolen or hacked. Feels like the risky normal PIN, password, or biometrics. And unlocking manually takes seconds, but it keeps the data protected. So turn off smart lock features. Instead, rely on the PIN or fingerprint every time. This next item is using trusted places or on-body detection. To get to it on my S22, I go to Settings, and then I am going to go to Lock Screen and AOD, or Always On Display. When I click that, I can do an extend, unlock, secure lock settings, always on display, which means it doesn't shut off. The picture is always there. That's going to use your battery up in a hurry, but if you've got it plugged in all the time, it might be something you might want to do. And then there's some other things that you can set. But let's take a look at the extend unlock. Now, when I do that, it's going to go black on the screen because on the phone, it's asking for my PIN. So I have to put my PIN in. And then it goes to the next screen, which is what's extend unlock. You can extend unlock, can recognize when you're holding the device, if you're near home or another trusted device or trusted place, your watch or another trusted device is nearby. And so I can say, got it. And then I can click on body detection, trusted places, and trusted devices. Right now it's all off, but I could turn it on. Number 8, rooting or jailbreaking, modifying the phone to bypass limits. This disables built-in protection like verified boot and invites malware. It removes built-in security protections and increases the risk of malware and viruses. Unauthorized access. So the best advice is avoid unless you're an expert. So the remedy is avoid routing or rooting. If more control is needed, look for apps or settings that achieve it safely. Avoid rooting. If more control is needed, look for apps or settings that achieve it safely. Rooting or jailbreaking a phone, you really shouldn't do them. Rooting and jailbreaking are similar processes that give a user, super user, or administrator access to their mobile device's operating system, allowing them to bypass limitations set by the manufacturer or carrier. The term rooting specifically applies to Android devices, while jailbreaking refers to the Apple iOS devices. The risks are security vulnerabilities, void your warranty. You could brick the device, which means it's absolutely useless to you, or there can be a loss of functionality. I do not recommend rooting or jailbreaking a phone at all. 9. Not backing up data. Skipping backups and losing everything if the phone breaks is hacked or stolen. Failure to back up data from your Android device exposes you to security risks and could result in losing valuable information. Your smartphone contains a significant amount of personal data, including photos, contacts, messages, banking information, and two-factor authentication apps. A malware infection could lock you out of your device, but if you have a clean, recent backup, you can restore your data and minimize the damage. So the remedy is turn on Google Backup in Settings, or if you have a Samsung, the Samsung Backup. And you can also back up photos to Google Photos or an external drive. One of the things you don't want to do is not back up. It's very simple to do, very easy to do. One, for your photos, make sure you have Google Photos turned on and you're automatically updating any photos you take with your phone to update to Google Photos in the cloud. Besides that, go to Settings and come down to Settings, Accounts and Backup. You can manage your accounts, but you can back up to the Samsung Cloud or Google Drive or both. On the Samsung Cloud, you can back up your data and you can turn on what you want to back up. You can restore the data from there. So if you break your phone or something happens to your phone, when you get a new one, you just restore the data from here and it will restore it for you. And also you can back up your data to Google Drive and you back it up. I'm using Google One. I've got that turned on. You can back up your apps, your photos and videos, your SMS messages, your call history, device settings, and your account data. You can back up using mobile or metered. Make sure you do back up your data so if something happens to your phone or you buy a new phone, all the data will be able to be brought over very simply and very easily. Mistake number 10, not setting up Find My Device. Losing your phone without the ability to track, lock, or erase it remotely is a big mistake. You want to make sure that you can locate your phone remotely, especially if it's locked, if it's lost or stolen. Sometimes you can even lock it, and you can erase data to protect your info. If there's no way to track a lost phone, you're out of luck. No way to stop others from accessing your data. So setup takes just minutes, but it can save your device and privacy. So the remedy is enable Find My Device in Settings, and I'm going to show you how to do that. This lets you protect your data if the phone is lost or stolen. Stop. Don't do these 10 things on your Android phone. I'm Hewie Poplock. There you go.
I was trying to find the Find My Device on my phone when you didn't show me how to do that. Anyway, I was working on with my phone there. All right. We got to say goodbye to our YouTube group over on the YouTube feed. If you want to come over and participate in the Q&A, you are most welcome to do so. Don't forget about our show on Thursday. And let me just say, and we'll see you back next week. Even though it's a long weekend, we'll be here. All right, let me just close this off, live stream. There you go, Mike, take it away.
Okie dokie. So today in music history, and let me find the right buttons here and I'll share my screen. Whoops. You'd think I'd get this down pat after a while. So here we go. Notable events in music history for August 25th. Bruce Springsteen released his breakthrough album Born to Run on August 25th, 1975. It peaked at number 3 on the Billboard 200 and earned 7 times platinum status and was later inducted into the Library of Congress's National Recording Registry. Boston launched their self-titled album on August 25th, 1976. It became one of the best-selling album debuts ever, ultimately moving over 18 million copies. Lauren Hall dropped her debut album, The Miseducation of Lauren Hall on August 25th, 1998. The critically acclaimed LP sold 19 million copies and garnered world's widespread acclaim. Some chart-topping singles and highlights. Little Eva topped the US charts with The Locomotion on August 25th, 1962. The song later saw renewed success via Grand Funk Railroad in 1974. Stories hit number 1 on the Billboard 100 with Brother Louie on August 25th, 73. The Knack began a 6-week number 1 run with My Sharona in 1979. The track topped the charts in Australia and Canada as well. Cliff Richard scored his 10th UK number 1 with We Don't Talk Anymore in 1979. Some US careers and historic performances. In 1970, Elton John made his US live debut at the Troubadour in Los Angeles. And in 67, Brian Wilson returned to performing with the Beach Boys in Honolulu after a 2-year hiatus. Some notable births and tragic farewells. Born on this day in 1918, Leonard Bernstein, the noted conductor and composer. Wayne Shorter, a jazz saxophonist, in 1933. Walter Williams from the O'Jays in 1942. Gene Simmons from Kiss in 1949. From Judas Priest, Rob Halford in 1951. Elvis Costello in 1954. Billy Ray Cyrus in 61. And Jeff Tweedy in 1967. Some people we lost. Stan Keaton died in 1979 at age 67. Jack Ninsky, I can't pronounce it, Ninsky, a renowned composer and producer for the Rolling Stones and Neil Young, passed away from a heart attack in 2000 at 63. Aaliyah, a rising R&B star, tragically died in a plane crash in 2001 at age 22. Some other noteworthy moments. On August 25th, 66, during a concert at San Francisco's Carousel Ballroom, Jeff Beck fell ill. Jimmy Page stepped in on lead guitars for the Yardbirds. On this date in 2015, Jimmy Page and Robert Plant reunited for the concert film No Quarter, celebrating their music legacy. Another notable event that isn't on my list here, but Miss A told me about it this morning when I asked her what was going on today. On this day in 1939, The Wizard of Oz had its widespread US release in theaters. So that was kind of a groundbreaking movie for its time. Now, if you've been following along, can anybody guess what we're going to feature today? Well, our feature cut for today is Little Eva and the Locomotion. So Ron, I'm going to unshare, and if you can take it away. So that was Little Eva from 1962. I was 5 years old, but still a great hit.
That would be a great one, Mike, for getting seniors to be moving. For if you're doing exercise work and you're doing with seniors, you're doing exercises. That'd be a great one to stimulate people to move, right?
Most definitely.
Locomotion. Well done, Mike. Thank you so much. Well, Hewie, episode 281 is done. We did it. Another show.
Except for the Q&A.
Except for the Q&A. That's right.